Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue and my faithful companions, the loud teddy bear and the quiet Benji, who is nursing his little wounds from his doctor's appointment yesterday. He's actually sitting underneath my feet, which I find it's a little bit hard to work because I'm afraid he has to wear his cone of shame for 10 days. So I'm finding it a little hard because he wants to be right underneath my feet, but we will persevere because that's what we do here. That's what we are all about. So we are going to persevere. And this morning, we're going to sort of continue on a little bit with the discussion of the Joy versus the other machines, a conversation that came up yesterday when we were doing this Harvest Blessing mug. If you didn't get a chance to see this in action or see this particular video, I would recommend going back and watching it from yesterday because it really, it touches on so many things, including how the Joy does smart vinyl, but also placement and how to use the transfer tape and all of that. But in the middle of the conversation, because this is Cricut Chat, and my friends around me chat, the question came up, should I get a Cricut Joy? And so it was going back and forth on what the great things about the Joy are, and there are many. But a lot of people, I think the Joy was made for new people getting into the craft. And so there are a lot of people that already had their machine, and then they're looking at the Joy, particularly these things, which are called insert cards. I don't know if you can see it. The lighting's a little odd, but so this is like an insert card. What that means by insert card is that it has this backing to it that you tuck in to the corners. Here's another one. Okay, so before there were such a thing called insert cards, which uses the card mat, we had something called quick cut cards, and that does not use the card mat, and it uses a regular machine. So I wanted to just kind of, I hope, kind of just sort of clear the air. No, it's not like it's a terrible discussion, but like just to kind of solidify the differences between the machines. And my feeling is the major difference between the Joy and the other machines is using either the card mat to make insert cards or smart vinyl, which doesn't require a mat. And so I feel like if someone were going to ask me, gee, I already have another machine, would you get, have an Explorer Air 2 or a Maker, would you get a Joy? If you had the money, then I would say, yeah, sure, because there's a lot to love about the Joy. If you didn't, I think there are a lot of things that you can do with your Maker that will replicate those same results that are on the Joy. And if you just, if you started with, so I guess what I'm saying is that a lot of times people come from the Joy and then they want to progress to the Maker. But what about people who purchased a Maker or Explorer or was gifted those machines last year before the Joy came out, and now they're looking at it like, gee, maybe I want a Joy. And I don't mean to put a damper on everything. Certainly, if you can afford to buy, more than one machine, then go for it. But for me, where money can be tight and I am a little more frugal, which one would you buy? I get that question all the time. And my answer is, well, what do you want to do with it? And what can you afford? Because if you just are content with making cards or doing small like decals like we did yesterday, or just doing things like these ornament tags, and they're all beautiful things, then I would say your way to go is the Joy for sure, because it does the smaller stuff. But if you want to do bigger things or more complicated things besides vinyl paper and maybe faux leather, then you might consider going with the larger machine. And either way, you have been gifted, or if you have a machine, you don't realize, I think sometimes, how very blessed you are because you have one of the machines, and we can find workarounds around all of these things. So that's what today's about. I want to show you some workarounds of cards that exist that are not Joy cards, and I'm going to show you how to sort of make the look of a Joy card, okay, with using your Explore or your Maker. And then, maybe gluing is not for you, and that's what these index cards have a real cool draw to them, because you don't use any glue, and maybe you just don't like glues, okay? So, hi, Susan. Hi, everyone. So let me jump in and say hello, everyone. I'm a little tired today. I was up all night with my little Benji, but he's doing okay. He had to get tutored yesterday at the vet, so he's running around with a cone. And I totally agree, Annette. The Joy insert card files are beautiful, but they're not customizable, and that's frustrating to me, because I feel like the Cricut folks are all about making, using creativity and everything. And right now, if you have a Joy and you want to do an insert card, you can't really customize it. So that should be known as well. That may change. I don't know. I know I have put in a request for that on numerous occasions. So anyway, let's focus on let's say you have an Explore or a Maker, and maybe you got the new foil transfer kit, which can't work in the Joy. So how do you incorporate sort of the best of both worlds, an insert type card and foil, using it on your Explore? Well, that's what I'm going to show you today. And so here we go. Yeah, he needs a lot of love, and he's right under my feet. It makes it a little hard to move around, but that's okay. That's what being a a pet owner or a dog owner is all about, right? So, anyway, so these are two cards that are from a designer called Alexis Mattox, Mattox, and I am going to show you where to find them first, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, and this one here, let me see if it goes under. This one here has writing here, drawing, and I'm going to show you how to switch that to foil. And then this one was originally all cutouts, and I switched some of them. I don't know if you can see too well, but I switched some of the cutouts to foil, and I'm going to show you how to do that too. So you can sort of modify these cards anyway, and you can come up with a pretty cool, I think, fancy version of the insert card. So again, these are going to be cut on my Maker, because that's the only machine I have right now, and they are modified to add foil. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so this designer is Alexis Mattox, and let me show you if I'm going to move these aside as if we don't have. We don't have anything. We're starting with our new canvas. And by the way, if you haven't seen this canvas, which is a very small grid, very fine granular grid, it will be coming to you. They're rolling these changes out as we speak, but they're doing it very slowly so people won't continue to so people people will get these without it being a difficulty in Design Space. Sorry, I still have a little chemo brain, I think. Okay, so let's pretend we're on the new canvas and we have nothing there. Let's go to images. And we're going to go to image sets, my favorite place, and we're going to type in the first name, Alexis Mattox, Mattox, and you will see that she has a number of really nice cards and projects here, including some pillow designs, cake toppers, this is a great set called Classically Modern Cards. And then these ones here, No Peeking, which are great. We're going to work on those a little bit. I don't know if we're going to get to it this week, but that's what these are. They're like gift tags, really cute. And then you'll see down at the bottom, she has a quick note and then quick cut cards, quick cut everyday cards. So we're going to look at both of these, and this one is a quick note. Now remember, I told you that before we had insert cards, we had these things called quick cut cards, quick cut cards. And they are basically, they don't require glue. And I don't know if it's true, but it appears to me like these may have been the inspiration for insert cards. I don't know. So here is one that is geared towards the holidays, this Be Merry. So I'm going to pull that one in. And then let's go back to the other set, the quick cut everyday cards. And there is one here called, where is it? Peace and Joy. So here it is, Peace and Joy. Okay, so we're going to pull both of those in. And of course, they come in with envelopes. You guys know how I feel about envelopes. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this and ungroup them and take this envelope off. And then I'm going to regroup this, the card. Doing the same thing down here. That's all I'm doing is ungrouping, removing the envelope. Now, if you want to make the envelope, absolutely, go right ahead. I just buy my envelopes in packs of 50 usually, and they have them on sale a lot of times this time of year, like at Michael's, and you can also buy them online, and they're relatively cheap, like $4 or $5 for a pack of 50, or 25, depends on, I'm definitely a no envelope. I mean, I use envelopes, but I'd rather just not spend my time making them. So there's that. Everybody has flaws, right? Okay, so let's look at these two. The first one, this one here, Be Merry. Let me get in real close on that. Okay, so Be Merry is set up as a draw and a cut file. So this one's going to be super easy to change into a foil and cut file because we already have the draw part of it and we just need to change it. First thing that we do have to do though is we do have to ungroup it again because we want to look at just this top layer. This is the bottom layer that becomes the insert. So this top layer, you can see there's the drawing here, like the other side of the holly leaves, and then there are these little flourishes and curlicues. So those are set up as draw. This is probably the easier of the two cards to switch to foil. And what we're going to do is locate that layer under this group, okay? So over here, you'll see 1, you have a score, 2, you have draw, and then 3, you have cut. This is how the machine works, okay? It does scoring first, then drawing, and then cutting. Now, if you change it to foil, it would do the same order, scoring, foil, and cutting. Now, if you even wanted to get even more complicated, you can. We're not going to do that today. But if you wanted to have some drawing and foiling, you could do that as well. And I can show you that in a future episode. But in this episode, we're just going to change the drawing to foiling. Okay. So what we're going to do is locate and select on this one here that says draw. And then we're going over here to the left-hand side where it says line type. Okay. And this is where, if you have the maker and you have some of the other tools like the deboss, the engraving tool, the wavy blade, the perforation blade, this is where you would change your line type to use those particular tools, okay? Here also is foil. So if you have an Explore, this is where you would see, even though you have this choice of, cut, draw, score, engrave, if you have an Explore, you wouldn't be able to do all those other things. You would only be able to do the cut and the draw and foil. So when you go down to foil, it also it explodes out into 3 different types. I'm going to choose fine. I think honestly that the foil looks so beautiful in the fine, but medium is good. I haven't really done a lot of tests with the bold. Okay, so I'm going to choose fine. And when I do that, you'll notice that the color changes. It makes it a little bit harder to see. Let me see. And if you wanted to change the color of the foil, you could do it up here by clicking again on that layer and choosing something else, like say purple, which is a little odd, but there it is. These purple pieces are what's going to be drawn. Now, you don't have to do it in purple. It's just if it makes it easier for you to see, then by all means put it in purple. And then when you go to put your foil in, you just put in the gold foil. Sometimes we can't see we don't see how it's going to look until you do it out on, you actually do it. So, okay. So anyway, this is very simple, and we can go ahead and cut this out and we'll do the foiling, and then this little piece in the back is for the insert card, and we're going to go and work on that. Okay. But now what about this one? This one is also a quick cut card, but it has no drawing on it. Okay. So how do we decide or isolate certain things to do foil, and how do we accomplish that? Actually, we're going to be using one of my favorite things, contour. We went over contour yesterday. And by the way, if you did email me and say, or comment and say, couldn't you achieve that if you wanted to take from that collage, the harvest blessings, right? Couldn't you achieve it by doing slice? You absolutely could. But yesterday I wanted to show you contour. So that's why I chose to do the contour. So that's that. Contour is one of my favorite things, and I feel so accomplished that I know how to do it. So anyway, let's say we want to do these holly leaves like I did here. You see that? Let me see, get close. And I wanted to switch those to foil, but I wanted to leave everything else foil. Or maybe I wanted to switch the writing to foil and that wouldn't cut out, or all of this around here, we could change to foil and just have the cutout be the peace and joy, kind of like that idea. So how do we achieve that? Well, it's actually not that difficult. What we're going to do is ungroup it. And we're just taking away this back piece, okay? And then with this piece, we're going to duplicate it. And duplicate's up here on the top right-hand side. All right, so there's duplicate. And there's a reason we're doing that, because we're going to turn some of these things to draw or foil, and some of them are going to still be cut, okay? But unfortunately, this is a little bit complicated because each of these duplications feature a score, which we cannot do any of contouring if it has scoring in there. So we need to make sure that we detach, not ungroup, but detach and remove, or just kind of move this scoring piece out of the way, so it won't be part of this. And when you click on this again, you'll notice that your contour feature shows up finally, right? So we're going to click on contour and you will see this is our card, and we can make a choice about what we want to do in the foil versus what we want to do in the cutting out. Okay, so in this case, let's do everything around the peace and joy, and we'll leave the cutout peace and joy. Okay, so to do that on our desktop, I can do hide all contours, and then it will just have this part here around, but I am going to add these. I don't know. I think I might not need those. So I'm going to just come back to that. Okay. So I am going to make all of these pieces down here I don't need it now that I think about it. I'm going to make all of these pieces. I can either hide or show. So I can do it one or the other way. I can do it where I click on the letters and remove the letters, which is going to be the part that's cut out. All right. I think I like this way better than hiding them all. Okay, so here we go. And when you come back, you notice that here is your, and I've got these little dots. Do I want the dots there? Yeah, I think I want the dots there because we're going to do those. All right, so now here is your modified card front. So what we're going to do now is we are going to remove this cut, or actually change it to foil. So we're going to go down to foil and hit fine. Isn't this great? So now you have foil, but we do have these cuts all around here, including these little insert card cuts, which we don't need. So let's go back and remove those. Okay. And all we need to do is remove that outer edge and then these 4 cuts here. Let's see, did that work? All right, it worked. It worked, okay? So now we have this. Isn't that great? So this is going to be the part that's foiled. But we have to put it onto our card because otherwise it's just going to foil nothing, right? Before we do that, though, we need to go to this, which is our original card, right? And again, we have to detach and remove our scoring. All right. And then we're going to contour. But in this particular case, what we're going to do is we're only going to be contouring out the things that we foiled. So we do want to hide all contours. And then we're going to bring back the peace. Bring back the peace and the joy. And that will make... It will make life simple. We do need some peace and joy. Now, what we want to do is make sure that the cutouts for the insert cards are there, and then also the complete cutout around the edge. So see what I did? I took out all the stuff that's going to be foiled. All right. And I just have the stuff that's going to be cut, which does include this piece around here. And then this, the inserts and all of that. So now I'm going to take my foil, which right now it's in the back. So what I'm going to do is go up here to arrange and send it to the front. You can't really see it too well. So I am going to change it to purple just because it makes it easier to see. Okay, but here we go is our purple, and we can sort of make sure that it's placed correctly there. Okay, y'all with me? Are you with me? Do you understand what I just did? I basically created a new layer, and I'm going to do that layer in foil, and I'm going to do it with my card. So I placed it on there, and now I am going to select this, and I'm going to attach it. Okay, so I'm going to attach it. And yes, I'd be happy to give you the link after, okay? Unless you're talking about something else. Okay, so I just attached my foil to my cutout part. The only thing that's missing at this point is my score, which I have over here. And I'm going to put it at 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4, which is like right about here. Yep. And then select it all again and attach again. Okay, wait a second. My scoring isn't showing up. So let me just move it. Detach. Scoring. Come on, arrange to the front. All right, there we go. And then attach again. So now this becomes a little more complicated and a lot like this one. You see that? So it's a lot like this one because all of our like greenery around the Peace and Joy is going to be foil, and then just the cutout of Peace and Joy, it's going to have a score and it's going to have a cutout all around. Okay. So now we can go about and do the cutout, the actual cutting of this. I'm just going to move these guys here. Hold on. So I'm just going to group these and take them out of our way so you cannot see them. Just want to make sure. I'm just going to be cutting out both of these. Now, I want them to appear on the same page. So I need them to be the same mat, I should say. I want them to appear on the same mat. So I need them to be the same color. Okay. And I can change color up here under Color Sync. And you'll see that they actually aren't the same color red. So what I'm going to do is just choose one of the reds and draw it down to the other red. And now all of a sudden, both are the same color. I'm going to do the same thing with the inserts, just simply because I know they show up as black, but we're going to do it actually in gold glitter. And if it helps, I'll just change the color to like a gold. Okay, so now we're ready to cut out the inserts and also to foil score and cut out our cards. Do I have a foil line around the outside? I don't think that I do, but I can check. You're right, I do. Thank you for picking up on that. Thank you, Annette. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I left the foil line around, so I need to just remove that. So I am going to detach this, all right? And I am going to select just the foil part, and I'm going to go to Contour, and I'm going to make sure I remove. There we go. All right, thanks. Good eye, good eye. Okay, so now that I removed that around the edge, I can then once again attach it. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out on the same. Okay, now what happens with this? This actually is good that I am. The insert cards are gone. Cuts are gone. I don't know what that means. I haven't been paying attention too much. Not sure what that means, Shirley. They should be there, but maybe your machine needs to be switched to Joy instead of Explore or Maker. Okay, here's something else that we would have caught, and that's why we have this preparation stage. You see, I have my score, but it's not attached. And I know it's a score because it's dashed. And so here's our inserts. And so it appears that it's a duplicated score because these both have scores. And remember when we duplicated the card and then I removed the score, that's what that is. So we could rightfully just ignore this mat, which I often will do rather than going back and fixing it. But a lot of times people don't realize that they need to have their score lines attached. Just like you attach your writing, your score lines need to be attached. Okay, so let's go on and look at these. So these are going to be done in glitter, and then these ones are going to be done on the same page. I'm going to use a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I need for the foil to be able to do a whole page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 12, where's my box? I have a box of it. So the foil comes in these shapes, which is 4 by 6, but they also come in the 12 by 12 shapes. Okay, so let's see where, Sherry, do not be upset or afraid. I know we have newbies, we have old bees, newbies and pros, let's say. And if you're not following me on this one, definitely go to my YouTube channel. I have all the videos, and some of them are very, very easy, basic stuff, and some of them are more complex. Today just happens to be more complex. So, but yesterday we did a very easy one. So I would definitely search that one out and that's okay. Okay. All right. And this is kind of theory. So so you have to just sort of kind of follow. All right. And you'll get it. Don't get worried. Okay. So all right. So back to this. So I have 2 cards all on the same page. I'm going to use a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I have this foiling that's going on here, and I have scoring that's going on here. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to put my foil to the right of where the scoring is. So this part is, you do need to take note. So my scoring is going to happen like about 4.5 inches. See that? 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So, and then my foiling is going to start about 4.5. It's closer to 4 3/4, and it's going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. So here is my mat, and I am going to take my 12 by 12 sheet of gold foil, and I'm going to attach it. Now I put my foil on first. Okay. And I do that simply because I don't want to be fussing in with the mat in the machine. It's just too crazy for me. So I'm going to bring you down so you can kind of see what my thought process is here, and you can see how I do this. So here's my mat, here's my foil. It was 12 by 12, and I just cut it, okay? And remember on our screen, it says right here, and I'm going to use a pencil just to mark it, okay? But right here is about where my scoring is going to go. And then I need for my foil to kind of come in here. You don't have to mark it if you don't want to, but I do it so that you can see what I'm doing, all right? And so I lay my foil, I put the shiny side up, and then I take the tape. And by the way, the 12 by 12 sheets of foil come in extra long lengths. You do it too that way? Okay, Susan. I think some people do it otherwise, but they come in extra long lengths, which for the horizontal piece I did cut down. And then I took these extra long pieces as they were, and I just put them on here. Now, it doesn't have to be taut, but it does have to be smooth. And you do need to put tape on all 4 sides. Don't try to cut corners because it will lift and you'll have just a terrible mess on your hand. So I would definitely just do these all 4 and remove them and keep them for another purpose. They can be reused, but you definitely need to use them, okay? So here are this is the tape that comes with it. Remember yes, Leilani. See, Sherry, everybody here is here to help you. It's not just me. There's a great group of people here, and we all help each other, including they help me. And it's a very fun mutual relationship that we have here. So I'm so glad you're with us. And I just, and the other thing too, Sherry, is that we're going to have a basics class. We're going to have a class that it's like, take it out of the box basics. Okay. Because I know that there'll be a lot of people getting new machines come the holidays. So I want to just start from scratch with everyone. Okay. So here we go. So here is and I think I want, just to be on the safe side, I think I want to put a little piece of tape up here because it seems like it's loose. All right. And by the way, foiling on top, like if your foiling machine goes over the tape, it doesn't matter. It will still foil. Okay. All right. So now I'm ready, and I'm going to move you back up here so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. The next thing after I look at the preparation phase, I'm going to hit continue. And I am going to set my material. Because I'm using foil, my materials. Oh, Teresa, you need to get that joy out. You need to get that joy out of the box, girlfriend. All right? Because it's fun. The joys are fun. All right. So we're doing, remember we have 3 mats. This one is our score mat, which we're just going to ignore. This one's our insert mat. And this one here is the one that we're going to do right now, which is that card, right? See that? If I hover over it, it will show up like this. So we're going to choose cardstock, medium cardstock. Now, I would suggest, if you have an Explorer, that you do not choose the medium cardstock that's on your dial, but rather turn it to custom, okay? I remember someone from Cricut saying that you should do this with the foil. I'm not exactly sure why, but I remember them saying this. So turn it to custom, and you will get browse all materials, and from there you can choose medium cardstock, okay? So in this case, you don't want to use your dial to choose cardstock or cardstock plus, okay? Also here is a scoring wheel. Because I have a maker, I'm given the opportunity to use the scoring wheel, but because we are doing foil today, I'm skipping this and changing it to scoring stylus, and it will make it a whole lot easier. Now, here we are, and what we have to notice here is that we're going to have the scoring stylus. I need to put in my foil tool. This is my foil tool. And just so you know, these little tips are and on the edge of the tip. So this one is the fine because it only has 1 circle around it. But the medium has 2 and the bold has 3. And by the way, so you don't lose the tips, I put them in the little drawer, which has a little part of a magnet of my machine. So I there's a magnet there, and that's where I keep the other tips. All right. So I have my fine tip, which by the way, you just put it in there. You can use the plunger to take it out and put it in, but it's in there really good. And I'm going to replace my housing with this. And I'm also going to make sure I have my scoring stylus there. Okay, so let me move you over a little bit so you can kind of see what's going on. There's my machine. I'm going to take my mat, which I have all set, and I am going to put it in that blank, or that blinking, that blinking arrow. And then I'm going to open this clamp B. All right. This is where my regular blade and housing, and be familiar, get yourself familiar with taking this in and out, because eventually you do have to replace your blade. And it's really simple, but just so that you know, that's how you do it. You just open the clamp, put it aside, take your foil housing and put it in the clamp. Make sure that this collar here rests on the top of the clamp here, because we want to have good contact with our mat. All right, then we close it and we're all set. I can go ahead and hit my blinking C, and what it's going to do first is going to do the scoring. So here we go. The tool case is great. It's really great. I love the tool case, but I'm actually not putting my my foil tips there, because there really isn't a space for them in the bottom. So here's the tool case in case you guys have a lot of tools, and there, if you have like duplicates or whatever. All right, so the scoring is done. My screen says make sure you put on the foil, but we've already put the foil in, and we've already put that foil tip in, so we're just going to hit the C to continue. So now it's going to go and do the foil for both of our cards. Who's celebrating a birthday today? Someone is? Who is it? November. Well, happy birthday to you all. Cassie is having a birthday too? Wonderful. Okay, so you'll see, it's kind of hard to see what it's doing, but it is working. Here is the foil tip in there, and we've got our foil on there, and you just need to be a little bit patient while it does the foiling. And then when it's done, we're going to take the foil tip out, and we're going to take off the foil. That's super important. I actually, when I first started this, I didn't take off the foil, and I had like the craziest mess on my project, and it was just really ugly. But so you do definitely need to do two things, and that is take out and replace the housing, so that you've taken out the foil and you put in the blade again, and then take off the foil that you've put on. Sorry. And remember, we're not going to remove our mat from the machine. The machine will push it out so that we can take it off, okay? If you remove it, the machine will, or the software will think, okay, this is as far as you wanted to go with it, and then it wouldn't go back to where you started, if that makes sense. It would try to do the foiling again. That makes sense. All right, so let's see what else we've got. Now, with these insert cards, I wanted to ask you guys, for me, when I did this Be Merry card and this Peace and Joy, one of the things that I kind of don't like, but I like about insert cards is that, yeah, there's no glue. But one of the things that I noticed is that there is kind of a lift from the front and the back piece. So I don't know if you do this, but I did it for this one, is I went and I put a little bit of glue, especially at these places where the writing was. Do you all do that, or do you just kind of leave it the way that it is? Do you use the glue to... The foil tips stand up. Sherry is saying the foil tips stand up in the bottom of the tool caddy. Oh, you put them in one of the holes around the little donut. So, like this, over here on one of these. Let me see. Oh, yeah. There we go. So you have two options. You can put it there, or you can put it in your little drawer. And by the way, this part of the drawer right here in the front has a little magnet. That's why I put it there, because I don't know, I'm a little paranoid, like I'm gonna lose it. And once you drop something on the ground in my house, that's it, it's lost forever. So, but thank you for that tip, Sherry. Good. So how about y'all about the glue? What do? Do you put little glue bits here so that it would stick to your front piece, or do you leave them? Depends. Okay, I haven't, but it looks better with. I like it when it's glued. I haven't used glue, but I thought of doing it. So it seems like, oh, Shirley, that's my New England accent. We cannot say the whole word, withdraw. It's, I know it's supposed, I can't even bring myself to do it. I think it's supposed to be drawer, but I can only say draw, and that's the length that I go to. Oh, there's another, Brandy's having a birthday too. All right, so we're almost done with the foil. So we're going to be prompted to change out our tools and to take our foil off, and then it will start to cut. And then at that point, I'm going to bring you back to my work surface so that you can see how to put these together. Okay, so I am going to be, and I'm being prompted to open this clamp, take out my foil housing, and put back in my blade. But I'm not done. I need to also remove carefully because we want to keep this tape and reuse it. It's sticky for a while, unless you get dog hair on it, which I have done. Oh, whoa. I have a little scoring thing there. Okay, oh well, that's not a biggie deal. All right, so now I have taken away the foil and the tape, and I'm going to hit go. And just quickly, I'm taking my tape off and putting it to the side of my desk. And by the way, if you're worried, which I always am, about using too much of your product, there are parts of this sheet that I would probably save, including all this part here, right? And you can just cut it off and put it in a safe place and use it later for a different project. Okay. Let me move you while it does the cutting. All right, here we go. All right, so again, we have, I think today I did 2 of these Be Merry, right? And I only did 1 of this Peace and Joy, so we'll have 2 when we're done. Okay, so here's the Be Merry, and as I mentioned to you, I actually used a little bit of glue behind so that the cutouts would stick to the glitter, okay? But basically it's an insert, and the insert goes into these 4 corners. That's how it really attaches, but I wanted it to look like really bold in glitter. So let's see, this is what I did. So there's our cutout. I folded it on the score line, but you'll see, okay, Benji, give me a second, all right, honey? So you see all the cutout and all the foil. So we're going to open it up like this, and then I can either put this in, or I can take a little tiny bit of glue, which is what I did, and I'm just going to go in and put it on these smaller pieces so that it will attach to my glitter. And remember, glitter does require a little bit more than you think you need for glue, but not tons and tons. So just kind of go medium on it. We don't use a whole lot of glue here. But just enough that it's not going to lift on those letters. This also you can do if you're working with the Joy, okay? I'm just going around where the cutouts are. You don't have to be that super specific, but I do go around those letters so that the letters will definitely stick, okay? Just not a whole lot, okay, guys? He does. He had me up in the middle of the night several times where he was just crying because, I don't know, because he has to wear that cone. He's got pain medication, so I don't think he's in pain. Or me have to go out. Did I cut an intricate cut? No. Actually used the regular cut. All right, so I'm just pushing down here. Okay, so Christine's asking about corner slices. I've got to check on that because right now you cannot modify Joy. So she's saying she would rather not have these corner slices and she'd like to glue. And that is, I understand that. I don't know that you can do it. Okay. So there it is. Be Merry. It's an insert card, which I've modified with foil. And I've also did a little bit of gluing. I have to press down a little bit more so that it will hold. And there you go. You've achieved a sort of a morphed version of a Joy insert card with foil. And it was pretty easy, right? I think it was pretty easy. And let me just show you our cutout is done so you can kind of see what we ended up with. So here's the Peace and Joy that just simply has Peace and Joy cut out. I want to make sure I get it real good here. Okay, there we go. So there's the Peace and Joy one. Isn't that beautiful? And it just has the gold around, and then Peace and Joy is cut out. So that is how we do, or how we modify these quick cut cards. That's what they were called. Quick cut cards. They were called that before we had Cricut Joy insert cards and all of that. And if you want to find it, remember you're going to search in images. Let me go back here. We're going to search in images. Cancel images. We're going to do image sets, and we're going to type in the word or the name Alexis, Alexis, and it will return Alexis Mattox. And we're looking at these bottom two cards. Okay, so that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed learning some. Now, if you are new like Sherry, and thank you, Sherry, for saying that. Sometimes it's a little hard to speak up and say I'm not following, and that's okay. But you might be one of those people, and you just didn't feel comfortable speaking up. That's okay. We do things from all different levels, really hard and really easy. And if you can stick with us or follow me on YouTube, you will learn a lot. And before you know it, you'll be able to do just about everything with your Cricut. So thanks so much for joining me today. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful day. Yes. All right. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Bye.